We are live. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Point and Cocktail Week page. I'm Josh Davis, founder of Brown and Balance. If you don't know me, I don't know where you've been for the last 10 years. But if you don't, that's who I am. I'm really happy today is Black History Month, so it's the best month of the year. Even though I celebrate Black History Month every day, this month I'm a little bit blacker than I normally am, just because we're all about the ancestors and celebrating the accomplishments. You know what I mean? Black history is a lot more than just slavery and things that the media shows you. Black history is about we have innovators, we have people who change the world. So, with that being said, I have the pleasure and the honor. I have not met this brother in person yet, but we have a rock star, a true genius, someone who is passionate about Jamaica Rums. I have my Appleton Estate Reserve here. I open this up today just because we're going to be here. We're here with my big brother, by proxy now, because you my big brother now. My man David Morrison. Man, how you feeling today, yeah?
Hey, I'm good, Josh. Thanks for having me here, man. It's my pleasure.
This is an honor. You know, I know as we get in this conversation, you know a lot of the same people I know. You get to work with Joyce Spence. I know you know Ian, my other big brother, the
Oh my
running
God.
master. You know what I mean? I know you know, so
Yeah.
it's an honor to just, hey, I'm part of the fam with you now. And I just want to get into it. But before we jump into my man's story, I want everybody, please go to PDXCW, go to on Instagram, on Facebook, like, share, and tell everybody if they're not tuned in today, they need to tune in and get in tune with some of this knowledge. All right. So, Dave, let's get to it, man. Just
All
go into
right.
your story. If anybody that doesn't know you, just get into your story, man, how you got started in the industry, and some of the trials that you went through, man. This is your show. I'm just here to take notes, be a conduit, man.
Right. All right, man. Well, like I said, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm gonna say I got into this whole industry by accident because I am your typical nerd, if you want to put it that way. So I went to university, I did chemistry and management, and then when I was done with chemistry and management, I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do with my life? I mean, yeah, you do chemistry. It kind of leaves your brain like kind of a way. And then interestingly enough, I started working on the campus, University of the West Indies, where I attended for about maybe a couple of years after I graduated. And I was literally getting ready to go do my master's in chemistry, right? Because, like I said, I'm a real nerd here. And one of my professors saw me one day and said to me that, hey, Jerry and if you're looking for somebody to help them out with some equipment that they got that they don't have any experience with that I had been working with since I graduated up from the university. And then I didn't jump at the occasion immediately because I was enjoying life on campus, man. I mean, campus life was nice, idle, boring, fun. It was very good times, man. And I was enjoying the life out of it. But he saw me again maybe about 2 or 3 weeks later, and he's like, have you spoken to them? You need to go talk to them because they're like really desperate. So I was like, all right, cool. So I literally gave them a call, went in. I did what I can. I guess I should call it an interview. It wasn't really much of an interview because like they were really desperate at the time, and ended up starting there. I believe it was very early in 1999, doing some analytical work for them, helping them out with some equipment and that sort of thing. And then, but like I said, I was preparing to go do my master's, so I did what they asked me to do for a period of time, and then left to get into the master's program because I had been accepted in the master's program. So when it was much closer to the time of starting the master's program, I kind of stopped and looked around the department and I was like, this is very interesting because all of the people that were there when I started UA, they're still here. This is a this is a real commitment here. I mean, So I decided at that point that maybe I shouldn't be doing the masters right now, and so ended up getting a call back from Wray and Nephew, and they were like, hey, we need you to come back.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, cool. I'm in it this time. Nobody had to kind of twist their arm this time, and I started with them in July of 1999. and I've been there ever since. So this year is actually my 25th year. So July 1st is my 25th anniversary working there. And I've gone through a number of different roles to get to this point, because I started off as the senior analyst in the main lab, and then moved up to the research analyst, and then moved over into risk management, and then got involved in research and development. And I worked very closely with Joy, literally from the beginning. And I can't forget in 2003, which is where I think it really started popping off for me. Joy was supposed to go on a trip to Canada, to Newfoundland, to do one of her rum tours, and she couldn't make it. And so she was like, David, I think you're ready. I think you can do this, man. You can do this. Imagine a little chemistry geek guy, being told that you don't need to go and start talking to people. Oh boy,
right.
I was like, I don't know, but I do have this kind of a go-getter attitude. I don't think there is much I believe I can't do, and so I jumped at the opportunity, and I have not looked back since.
Dope, man. That's what's up, man. I love that. So you are the senior blender.
So I am actually, as at February 1st, I am now the deputy master blender.
I'm sorry. My apologies. My apologies, big bro. So what for somebody like myself, right? Like I'm interested in learning the other side. Like you said, you're a chemistry geek, so talking to people was kind of out of your wheelhouse. So for me, I'm engaging. I love talking and connecting.
Right.
The technical side of things isn't really in my wheelhouse. So like, what does a day in the life for you look like?
All right. So my days can get very interesting, and they can be routine as well. So it depends on what I'm doing on the particular day. So for example, if I go in and I have to go into office for that day, it's usually a lot of, so I was in charge of a department of 30 people. So I had a lot of people to interact with, both at the distillery as well as in the bottling facility in Kingston, because the way we're set up is we're spread across the island. So distillery rum is made in St. Elizabeth, comes into Kingston, and in Kingston is where we do all the aging and the blending and all that stuff. So a typical day for me would be to go in, do things like, oversee blending, looking at consistencies of different batches of things that we put together, because that's a very important part of the job as well. I mean, when we produce a batch of the 12-year-old, the rare blend, the rare cask, then, we really have to make sure it tastes like every other batch of 12 that we've made. And so that's a very important part of what the job is. So I do a lot of tasting on a day-to-day basis.
Not a bad job. It's not a bad job.
So it's things like tasting rum. It's things like giving guidance to the team on technical issues that they may be facing during the course of the day. It's a lot of interaction with people in the process and making sure that process is flowing the way it's supposed to be flowing. And that's a day in the life of the office. If I'm traveling, it's a lot of things like this, a lot of educational stuff, talking to people, having seminars, doing tastings, doing rum blendings with people. I mean, it's fun. I can tell you that one of the things for me is that this doesn't even feel like work a lot of the time. It's fun. It's great enjoyment, man.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, look, we're just hanging out. Like, I'm in my house. We're just hanging out, and this is work for us. Like, right? I'm drinking early in the morning.
I mean, I did come into the office to do the seminar today. So, I mean, I could have done this at the bar at home. My wife probably would have been over in the corner having a drink, kind of watching me. But yeah,
I got you, man.
This is work.
With it being Black History Month, like I said, with my company, with Brown and Balance, we're really big on celebrating the past, but also moving to the future, right? So I always say, like I've heard Ian Burrell said, I've heard Clyde Davis, a lot of other Black leaders in our industry said, without Black people, there really wouldn't be any rum in the world. Can you kind of go into the history of rum, Jamaica rum specifically, and kind of let everybody in the audience know, like, how rum was starting to be produced and the importance that Black people played in that?
And that is very, very true. And I mean, before I even get into the history, I mean, I'll also say that at Appleton, we have actually embraced that part of our history, because I mean, if you go down to the Joy Spence Appleton Estate Rum Experience now, there's a very nice sculpture that was done that was commissioned and put out there last year, which was done by an actual student. Looking at, we did a very deep dive into the history of Appleton, looking at how slavery played a part, in building up what we do, and it's been pretty amazing. I mean, I'm very proud of what we do. I am very proud of the fact that we are representing Jamaica. We are representing Black people by what we do, because we've maintained, I think, a very close connection to who we are and what we are. Because at the end of the day, we've tried to maintain our traditions. We've tried to stay very true to what we've done over the course of the years. I mean, from the beginning, when rum was being made from, I'll say its origins are kind of accidental, if you want to put it that way. Nobody started off trying to, let's go make a spirit out of cane. But from 1749, when we've been making rum at the Appleton estate in those very traditional ways, it's been maintained right throughout the years up until now. The estate itself dates back to about 1655, so it's a very old estate. It's actually the oldest rum distillery in continuous production in Jamaica. And so we are really, really proud of our history. I mean, when I talk to people about rum, I'm talking from a place of authenticity and a place of passion. Because for me, I feel as if I am representing Jamaica. I mean, rum is such a big part of what Jamaica is, man. It is unreal. It's unbelievable. I mean, you come to Jamaica, right? I don't know if you've been here yet.
I have not. It's on the list.
You're missing out, and we need to talk here. We need to talk about that afterwards, right?
You'll make that happen. Yes.
Yeah, we need to talk about that, because at the end of the day, when you come to Jamaica, you look around this beautiful island of Jamaica, and you see rum being displayed all over the place, right? You see, for example, lots of signage that tells you about rum. When you get into the distilleries, for example, you see lots of provenance, lots of history being represented in the distilleries. You see like amazing things happening in this country when it comes, and it's all literally surrounding rum. When you think about just typical families in Jamaica, right? I mean, we find really cool, interesting ways to incorporate rum into everything that we do. I mean, for example, somebody gets sick. One of the most common household remedies in Jamaica is to take the Wray and Nephew white to approve from, add some lime and some honey to it, and that's people's medicine. I mean, that knocks you cold right back. You look at how things like, people dig graves, for example, for funerals, and you can pay people with rum. I mean, they take it happily, they work real hard, they love their rum. We love our rum in Jamaica. So, when I think about the context of rum for us, it's not just a product, it's a way of life. It's a part of our history.
Culture.
It's a big part of who we are in Jamaica. And one of the things that I believe we are really, really proud of. I mean, we're proud of our rum, we're proud of our coffee, of course, we're proud of our icons, like you're saying, for example, proud of our icons like Joy. But it really is a part of who we are. And that's part of the reason why I think it is so, so important for us.
Right. I love it, man. That's crazy. That's dope. Just so you know, I did use your rum. So I used Appleton. I'm gonna send you the recipe in my marinade for some barbecue get over the weekend.
All right, nice.
I'll make sure you get it. Because I was like, there's no way I got it. I mean, I drink enough. We do this already. Let me see what else I can do with it, man. So in the sauce we made and in the marinade for some of the food. So I'll make sure to send it to you. So you guys,
all right, cool. Please make sure. Yeah, I mean, we can share some secrets, because I got a couple of secrets.
Yeah, because when I come to the island, man, I'm coming right to your house, bro. We just gonna hang out.
Man. Hey.
Put it right up to the house, man. And we're gonna hang out. I have a really good question I really want to ask you about Joy, but before I do that, just for everybody out there, I hope you guys are liking, following. If you have any questions, anything you want to ask David, don't ask me anything, because David is a rock star. Talk to him today. Any questions about rum, production, Jamaica, whatever you want, drop them in the chat. We will make sure to ask him these questions. Also, guys, if you don't know, much love and much shout out to Lush Life Productions. They partnered with myself with Brown and Balance for us to bring a Black History series of producers, of spirit owners, of brand ambassadors that are Black this month, to really share these stories and talk about, some of the trials and tribulations, but also the great things that all of us do in this industry. So y'all getting a great time I'm learning a lot. I got my notepad. I'm ready. I'm already learning a lot. So I hope you guys are all out here watching, get engaged. Let's have some fun. Let's try to keep David on here as long as we can. All right. Now, after the promotional, you know what I mean? I had to get that out the way. What is it like? I've had the pleasure. I only met Joy once, and I've had the pleasure to hang out with her one time. And Joy is an amazing. So, what is it like working with Joy Spence? I need the inside track, man.
Hey, listen, man. What I will say to you is this: I've lived a blessed life. That's how I put it. Having interacted with Joy all the years that I have, because she is such a wonderful human being. I mean, outside of her skills blending rum, I like talking about the person she is first. Because the truth is that, I mean, she made who I am at this point in time. I mean, it's a lot of her guidance, it's a lot of her ways of work, a lot of her pouring herself into me that's helped me to achieve the things I've achieved. So the first thing I would say is amazing human being. And then, if we talk about her technical competence, unparalleled. I mean, she is like, she is the queen of rum, if you ask me. I mean, she is so technically gifted. I mean, from her sensory skills to the things that she's learned over the years, and then the way that she can impart that information to people is amazing, man. I mean, when she talks to you, you feel like you're just captivated, man. I mean, it pulls you in. It really keeps your attention, and I mean, she's amazing. So my days with her have been really cool because I've spent a lot of time, learning my craft from her. I've spent a lot of time having sessions where we go enjoy together as well, kind of, enjoy the fruits of your labor, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've found really amazing about her is it's the confidence that she has in her people. Because when I was telling you about my first experience going off on an ambassador tour in Canada, it was, like I said, something I had never done before. I would never even have thought about doing it before. And the fact that she had so much confidence in me based on just what she saw on a day-to-day basis working with me, put me in such a space that I literally felt that I could take on the world. And that's kind of what working with her is like. I mean, she holds nothing back, very passionate, loves rum, loves what she does, but just as importantly, she loves people. And I think for her, and for me at any rate, and for all of us who've had the benefit of working with her for such a long time, it's a thing that never leaves us. I mean, her love for people, genuine love for people, genuine love for all of us, genuine love for her craft, genuine love for rum. It's not just a job for her. Right. And I think that's one of the key things I took away from all of my I have taken away from all of my interactions with her, that it's not just a job.
It's a way of life.
We are ambassadors. We are here to carry the light for rum and our people as well, because Jamaica is a part of all of this. And so that's what it's like working with her every day. I mean, it's an amazing experience. Absolutely.
That's beautiful, man. I love that. I love the fact that so I'm from Chicago. I'm from the South Side of Chicago. You see, I represent myself everywhere I go. To see you representing your country, representing Jamaica like that is a beautiful thing, and I love it. So, with that being said, we've been talking about the good stuff. We got to get into a little bit of the drama and a little bit of the stuff that goes on in the industry. Another reason that Brown and Balance was started was because, here in the States, there was a big discrepancy, and people that looked like me, people that sounded like me, that were on the national stage, that were getting a lot of opportunities. So myself, Ray folks with Turning Tables, Capri, Robinson with Chocolate City's Best, all these black leaders, we all came up with all these different organizations, and we worked together to try to help and move the new crop forward. But you being in Jamaica, probably 98% of everybody looks just like us. You know what I mean? So like trials and tribulations as you're coming up and as you're growing in the industry, how does that parlay in a place where everybody pretty much looks like you? So that disparity of not seeing yourself isn't there as much.
Right. So that's an interesting point, because the truth of the matter is, I mean, you are right. I mean, vast majority of us here in Jamaica are like me. But the thing is that we're not just playing in the local space. We play in a much more globalized environment, and different places come with different challenges. I mean, I've had the benefit of not just doing what I do here in Jamaica, but representing Jamaica and the brand internationally as well. And I've had very interesting experiences. I mean, both good and not so good
Right.
doing this job. But one of the things that I have found though is that at the end of the day, it's a good platform that I have to kind of send and spread that message as well. Because for me, I do have to interface with a lot of different players, a lot of different sections or sectors within the whole rum industry. In Jamaica, yes, we are all pretty much part of one big family, one big Jamaican family here. So the challenges here are not as they would be outside of Jamaica. You find that you have challenges even dealing with your counterparts outside of Jamaica. Very competitive set, not necessarily driven by your blackness or lack of thereof, but more so the economics and the competition that you have amongst the Caribbean islands. But even within that, we do try to still keep a good, strong umbrella going, whereby we can kind of set the stage for what we want to project as an industry here coming out to the Caribbean. Our Caribbeanness is very, very important to us, and so we do try to stick together as much as possible, considering it is we're talking about competition and all of that stuff as well. But where I have found that it's gotten a little bit more interesting is when I leave the Caribbean and get into the States, Canada, and all these other places. And sometimes it's a situation where people are not necessarily as knowledgeable about rum and where rum comes from. They have their own biases based on the things they know, based on how they've grown up. It's just funny because I was having a conversation with some friends just this morning about how people sometimes tend to undervalue what you do just by the virtue of the color of your skin, or even the fact that you're from a small island like Jamaica. Especially when you start to talk to some of your first world cousins out there. You're kind of always seen as this little guy from Jamaica. Yeah, you may know more about me more than I may know more than you about rum, but even so, because of the fact that you're from Jamaica and the fact that you're dark skinned sometimes creates perceptions in people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also found that it's not as bad as living there. It's different, but certainly as a visitor going to teach or to talk, I have found that people have been a little more receptive. I mean, especially considering that I would be I am an expert in the field,
Right.
and that makes a very, very, very big difference, because when people hear you speak and they start to realize that oh, okay, all right, doesn't know what he's talking about,
Right.
then you kind of see some of the light bulbs going off in people's heads sometimes, and you go, aha, all right, I can respect this. I can understand where he's coming from. But you are right though. I mean, I think that initial hurdle that you have to face just by virtue of where you're from and the color of your skin is a real challenge. I mean, I've not had any dramatically difficult experiences,
Right.
but I have had a couple of experiences that have left me kind of going, boy. I remember, I don't know if I should say this, but I remember going to a particular country, and I won't call names. And I just finished a seminar, right? And this was went into the night, so it was a pretty long seminar. And everybody was really appreciative of the seminar. Loved it, hey, wonderful experience, one of the best I've ever experienced. And when I was leaving, a guy comes up to me, he shakes my hand, right? And he slips me a bag of weed.
Okay, that was.
And I'm like, why though? Like, yeah, but he's like, you're Jamaican, man. You're Jamaican. And so I use that story to say to people that there are lots of stereotypes that you have to kind
Yeah.
of work your way around and through and help people to understand that, hey, I am from a developing country. I like to call Jamaica a developing country. I do look like this, but you'd be surprised at how developed we are. You'd be surprised. You'd be very surprised. And so it's getting people to understand and appreciate that. And I found that when I'm talking to people who are really into rum, it's a much easier conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, really easy conversation to have because they get it to understand. It's when you're talking to people who have experiences in other spirit types who expect that, for the experts for somebody to be considered an expert that they don't look like me. It's getting through to those folks that's a little bit more challenging from time to time. But my experience has been good so far. I've thoroughly enjoyed every one of my experiences. I mean, whether it's been good or not so good, because it's one helped me to appreciate the world a little bit more because I'm not living in the bubble of just Jamaica. Because it was just a bubble of Jamaica. My impressions and understanding of what exists would be really, really tainted. Because, like I say, you don't get that happening so much in Jamaica. But it's been a good experience for me because it's helped me to broaden my horizons. It's helped me to understand just how to deal with a different kind of people that I know I will come across as I go through this journey every day.
I love it, man. I love it, man. So there's a lot of different rums in the world. I'm a rum fan. I've enjoyed many different styles from Puerto Rican rum to Jamaican rum, Dominican rum, all of that. In your own words, what separates Jamaican rum from the best? Like, I mean, not from the rest, rather. Not saying not, but just what separates that from the rest of the rums in the world.
All right, no. So I think the simplest way I can put it is that Jamaica has a style, right? Jamaica. Hey, for the people who know Jamaica and know Jamaicans, right? Jamaicans have swag.
Yes.
Jamaicans are the biggest and the loudest in the room sometimes, man. That's who we are. And the truth of the matter is that the rums that we produce in Jamaica, I think, fit into that mold incredibly well. Like you go into a room with a bunch of rums, you can almost start to tell which are the Jamaican rums. Because if you're talking about things like the Renegade White Oak Proof rum, for example, big and bold and cannot be missed, love it. Right? And when you talk about things like Appleton Estate, Jamaicans, we are sophisticated. Even with our swag, we are sophisticated. We like the best in life. We like the best of things. And I think that's what the Appleton Estate rums are, in the Jamaican context. So I think that the rums that we produce are very much a reflection of who we are as a people. The styles of rums that we produce is so wide, so varied. And within that, we can create so much nuances of flavor, all in a very natural way. And, that for me is one of the big things about Jamaican rums that sets it apart from everybody else. I mean, we don't try to fit into the box. We create the box.
Are the box. Yes.
We are the box. Exactly. Or we are the box. And so, I mean, and it sounds like a little bit of bragging, and I don't want it to come across that way, but it's just how we see our rums, man. I mean, we are up there, we are out there, and we fit into every single style, every single occasion. It's just a matter of understanding what you want to drink to then be able to make the right choices. Not all rums across the Caribbean or wherever the rum is being made can say that. I mean, people will tailor what they do for certain things. But we're not afraid to be out there the way we are, strong flavor, very sophisticated, very elegant when we need to be. And that for me is as Jamaican as it gets.
I love that. I love it. I gotta go ahead and come to the island. We're coming to hang out real soon. Please.
Yeah, man. Looking out for you, man. Looking out for you.
So now I gotta get messy because that's what I like to do. Out of the rums you produce, though, what's your favorite? I know you got one that's like that's yours. Like that's my baby. Which one?
No. That's an easy question for me to answer, man. So for me, my go-to rum will never be out of it at home is the Appleton Estate 8-year-old reserve, man. I love that rum. That's the same one that you got right there. Yep. Love it.
That's my
Love it.
go-to.
Love it. Yeah, man. It's my favorite thing to drink. Next to be the 12. I love the 12 as well. But the thing about the 8-year-old for me is that it hits my preferred spot for drinking
Mhm.
every day.
Mhm.
Like I can have the other things on more so occasional drinking, or if I'm celebrating and that kind of thing. But when I want to have an everyday drink, that 8-year-old for me is absolutely perfect. As a matter of fact, for me, being from the islands, man, being from Jamaica,
Yeah.
my favorite way to actually drink it is the coconut water.
Really?
So I get fresh coconut water. It's in
Okay.
abundance here, man. You get the fresh coconut water,
Try that.
ice, 8-year-old. It is divine, man.
I
Love
will
it.
be trying that later on today. Trust me. I didn't put that together, but I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that later on today. I'll let you know how it goes, man. So
Yes, please.
uh,
And
we've
then,
been for a minute. I've been enjoying your story. We having some fun. What's next? Like, what's in the future for David, for Appleton, for Wray and Nephew? Like, what's that you can share? I don't want if there's any NDAs out there, anything like that. Like, what's next? Like, I always try to think. Like with me, I always try to go 2-3 steps ahead. Like I'm already
right.
planning 2025, even though we're in 24. So like, what's coming?
Yeah.
For you?
And that's exactly what we do as well. I mean, some things I can talk about, some things I can't. But I will say this. We have a very good innovation pipeline in place,
Okay.
which means that there are always things that you should expect to see coming out from us. These days, the last few years, we've been getting into things that we've not done before, or playing in spaces that we've not played before. So, for example, we started the Hearts collection, which is a single mark pot still expression, which is very different from for example, from the Appleton Estate range, which is a blend of column and pot, 100% pots, different ages, different vintages, if you want to put it that way. And that just showcases the fact that we want to get more into our DNA. We want people to start experiencing and understanding. When we talk about Appleton rum being special, these are some of the building blocks and the things that we have at our disposal that makes us special, and allowing people to get really involved and connected to our DNA. We also have a lot of other ideas to come that will start to showcase our heritage in Jamaica as well, and how rum plays into our heritage, because that's a very big part of who we are as well. We see ourselves as the quintessential Jamaican brand. I mean, we're not just saying that because we can, but we're saying it because we believe it, we mean it, and we intend to do it. And so we have products that will be coming out that will be very experiential, that will be very involved in storytelling of not just the estate, but Jamaica as well. Lots of things coming down the road that are going to surprise you in some cases, because it's not necessarily the norm for what we do. But we'll also get you thinking about, oh my God, this is really what rum can be like in Jamaica. Yeah. So lots of that to come. Lots of that to come.
I love it. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm always, like I said, I've been a big supporter, proponent of Appleton State, Campari Group, everybody over there. I love the whole team. I'm glad that we having a chance to get to meet and talk. I'm already looking for a flight real quick. And come down here. Before we get out of here, man, is there anything else you tell people how to find you on social media? If you want to be found, if you don't,
No, I put it out there. So I mean, I can be found at Blend with David. So there you go. There you go on the screen. It's funny because my wife is the one that came up with this moniker right here, right? Because I had something that was so abstract before, and she was like, "No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work." So you can find me at Blend with David. I will be posting a lot more as I go along. Because I do like to share my experiences with people. And of course, my wife is the real savvy when it comes to Instagram and those sorts of things. So I get lots of tips from her. So I'm gonna have a really cool page, I think, by the time she's done with me.
Okay.
But that's where I'm going to be posting a lot of my journeys, a lot of my trips, a lot of my experiences, just so you can all come and share with me, because I believe that's what rum is all about, especially Jamaican rum. Rum is experiential, man. Rum is something that we enjoy socially here in Jamaica to the nines. I mean, brings people together. It keeps us connected. It's our go-to way of celebrating life. right? And so I want to be part of that. I want to make sure I celebrate with you all, because that for me is a very big deal when it comes to sharing what rum is and who I am as a person and as a people.
I love it, man. Hey, well, look, guys. Hey, Brown and Balance pop up in David's backyard coming soon, so y'all get ready.
Right. I'm
We're
ready
gonna-
for you, man. I'm ready for you.
Hey,
I should have done this at the bar because I would have had an amazing backdrop in the back here, man, because I got lots of bottles in the bar.
oh, I'm
Right,
sure.
so
Oh,
really
I
cool,
am
really
very
cool things
sure.
here to come try. So whenever
Yeah.
you're ready.
I'm ready. Hey, Brown and Balance pop up coming into Jamaica, and we're gonna put this together with you, bro, soon.
All right, man. Looking
Hey,
forward to it.
hey, thank you for your time, man. I know you're a busy guy. You have a lot going on, so I appreciate you giving us some time to be able to tell the story, tell your story, talk about Appleton and Ray. Everybody out there watching, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go follow Blend with David and get in tune. And hey, I'm sure if you DM him questions about rum and different things, I'm very sure David will take some little time out to be able to talk to you guys. Make sure you guys are following PDXCW. Make sure you guys are on YouTube following PDXCW. Instagram, I heard we're on Instagram by my super producer. She put us on IG. We streaming everywhere today. It's Black Excellence everywhere today. Shameless plug. If you're not, make sure you following Brown and Balanced. We have a lot of different things coming up. We have the 28 Black Bartender series that's continuing on that we do every day of the month of February. So please, guys, get in tune, like, follow, share, and find out some new talent in your city that you might not know of yet. With that, we're out. I don't have anything left. I'm getting ready to go get some coconut water and drink some Appleton. Hey, anything you want to leave the people with before we leave, Dave?
Hey, just to say, you don't know what you're missing until you get here to experience it here. Right? Enjoy your rum where you are. Enjoy it everywhere in the world you are. But if you really want the Jamaican experience, Jamaican rum experience, come on down, man. We're ready for you. We're here to host you. Just come enjoy.
Done. Right. I'm on Delta right now. We're on the way, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate your time, man. And we're out, guys. We'll see you soon. We have another special guest coming up. I'm not even going to ruin the surprise and tell you guys who it are. We got 3 more sessions just like this. So make sure you guys are in tune, following, sharing, and being involved. All right? And I'm out.
Peace out. Thanks, man.